She's uniquely qualified to speak on the subject of business and personal success, having made her first million in her own business when she was only 22 years old. She's the author of the best-selling book, The Accidental Millionaire, and is known by many as the voice of street-smart success. Please help me welcome Stephanie Frank.
And people started saying, well, if I lost $1 million tomorrow, no problem. I could make it back in 90 days. And I remember thinking, if I lost my $1 million tomorrow, I'd be living in my car. You're stuck. You've got to ask yourself these 4 words. Here they are. What do you want? You went to Hawaii. Did you know you were going to Hawaii before you went on your vacation? You did. So did you make your plans on how you were going to get to Hawaii before you knew you were going to Hawaii, or after you knew that you were going to go to Hawaii? Kind of after, didn't you? Right? So you figured out where you're going and what your destination is going to be, and then you figured out how to get there. Isn't that true? Does that make a lot of sense? And yet most of us get on our bicycle and we ride around town, figurative bicycle, and we ride around town and we go, I'm just not getting where I want to go. And you have no clue. How would you actually know if you actually got there? Because maybe you need to get off your bicycle and you need to get in an airplane. And you need to get there in a different way. Maybe you need a different vehicle. So we spend so much time focusing on how. Forget it. It doesn't matter how, because the bicycle, the car, the semi-truck, the airplane, the cargo plane, the transportation shows up after you decide you're going to Hawaii. If you've ever wondered, if you've ever sat down and said, I am working so stinking hard. I am working so hard. I should be making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Why is it, and this is one of my fun things to do, why do some people make $10,000 in a year and some people make $10,000 in a minute? Again, it's got nothing to do with your intelligence, because they spend their time differently. The answer is this: we all have the exact same 24 hours in a day. There's a reason they call it spending time. And every second of every hour and every minute that you spend is just like dollar bills. You're spending your time here today. I'm very grateful for that. I'm spending my time with you, and I'm very reverent about that. I'm very excited to be here. And I choose to be here, and you choose to be here, and there's a reason we all came together. So they spend their time differently. So here's the thing. If you are not entirely sure how to make profits over whatever your per hour rate would be, in this case $500 an hour, you do not have a knowledge problem. Let me just make this. You're a smart individual. You have a leverage problem. Already that I had a very specialty kind of knowledge in the industry. And I got paid very, very well for a morning's work, usually in the 5-figure range, to be able to solve a problem that nobody else could solve because I had this specialized tool that could solve the computer problem. So I would get calls from all over the world. I've been in a Swiss bank. I've been in Sweden. I've been in Panama. I've been all over the place fixing these problems. I was sitting at my desk this one morning, and I was working on the problem and so on. And I had 20 employees at the time. An employee came in and said, "Stephanie, how do we make coffee?" Goofy question, right? What did I do? I got up out of my desk, walked around my desk, and started to walk into the kitchen and said, all right. And I got about halfway there, and I thought, wait a minute. I was making money, and now I'm making coffee. So you've got to have your team together and mixing them so that you actually get things done. Mix your idea people with your strategic people. Mix your detail people with your supportive people. Now, why am I telling you all of this? It's all about credibility. All about credibility. You see, you're being judged, and so am I, every second of every day. You see, you can't just walk up to somebody, right, and say, hi, My name's Stephanie Frank. I have credibility. Because what are you going to say to that? What? Huh? What? What? And so where does credibility come from? Where does it come from? It comes from outside. Well, it comes from outside. You judge people as to their credibility. I mean, you're judging me as to my credibility right now. The strategic people are saying, come on, get it done, get it over, get it done. Come on, quit with the stories, just give me all the meat. The detail people are saying, I'd like to make more distinction between some of the things you're talking about, and I'd like you to use more detail and more statistics. The supportive people have probably already noticed, especially if you're closer, that my water bottle is kind of halfway down, and you're probably saying something to yourself like, well, she's been talking for quite a while, she's been walking a lot, it's getting kind of warm in here. I noticed that her bottle is kind of low, I wonder if she needs some water. And the idea people right now, I've lost you a long time ago. Yeah. You're like, where did she get that suit? Now, my husband, on the other hand, is completely task-oriented, and I'm completely people-oriented. So here's how conversations used to go in our house. Honey, I'd like to talk to you for a little bit. He'd say, okay. And I would start. And I would present my case, and I would back up, and I would change my mind and turn around, and then I'd argue with myself and talk, until finally he would break it and he would say, stop it! What do you want me to do? And I would say, I want you to listen. And he would say, listening is not an actionable item. And we would proceed to get into an argument about whether listening was actually a doing thing or not, and completely forget about whatever the beginning point was. So we've changed now. We've been together for 12 years, so we figured this out. So now it kind of goes like this. Honey, I'd really like to talk to you for 10 minutes. What I'd really like you to do is sit and listen and say nothing. He says, okay. He sits. I go blah, 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 blah. Oh, my 10 minutes is up. Thank you so much. And he says, you're welcome. And I walk away, and I'm so happy because I've been heard. And he walks away because he's so happy he can get back to what he was doing.